Welcome to All Cards on the Table. I'm Yaz.
And I'm Renna, and we're laying all cards on the table, physically
and hypothetically.
Join us weekly as we talk all things business and booze while we use Tequila Tuesday as our excuse to drink.
Welcome back to another episode of All Cards on the Table pod. We're on episode 3 now, so if you made it to this far, then you've been listening to our bullshit for 3 episodes, so you're probably here to stay. So this week, as always, we're going to be, Tequila Tuesday, so as always, we're going to be splitting the episode in half talking business and
playing the game.
And playing booze in the game, so... Yeah, this week we are joined with Jasmine Clough. We're going to be talking all things like content creation, YouTube, and things like that.
Facebook.
So, yeah. And a bit of an insight of what she does behind the scenes, really.
We were just talking about how you blew up on Facebook, which is pretty crazy. I feel like we've forgotten about it as the social media now.
I feel like no one uses Facebook anymore. I feel like back in the day, Facebook famous was a really big thing.
Yeah.
I remember at school being called Facebook famous because I got so many followers from our sister girls, but now it's not really that big of a thing.
Do people still recognise you from them sister girls videos?
Yeah, so me and Sophie still to this day get comments on our videos, our new TikToks being oh my god, are they the Dub Smash girls?
God,
and we're
yeah,
that's us. I was literally thinking the other day in the car, have you heard that TikTok sounds where it's everybody says that I sound like CG5?
Yeah.
I was thinking, me and Sophie should do that. And it should be
definitely.
everybody says that we look like the Dub Smash girls. And it's probably because we are the Dub Smash girls.
So how old were you then when you first started?
14.
How old are you now, sorry?
23.
God, yeah. That's a
Yes,
long
it's
time
9
doing
years.
that. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is crazy.
It's technically
That's
8
mad.
because I started just before I turned 15.
Yeah.
But 8 years.
Because you've got a younger sister as well.
Yeah.
Just the one younger sister.
2 younger sisters.
Okay.
So, I've
So
got
were
Sophie.
they even they wouldn't have even been around when you were
Lola
doing
was
it, really?
2
God.
when we first started.
Wow.
Well, when I first started. Because Sophie started YouTube and stuff the year after me. So my younger sister was 2. And then
they
Sophie
just
will have
feed
been...
into the sister girls
Yeah.
now.
You
That's
know,
crazy.
she actually grew up thinking that she'd want to be a YouTuber, but I don't think she's that bothered anymore.
Oh.
I think, because TikTok's taken over and things like that, I think she's more interested in that, but she actually wants to have a decent job. I say decent job, not slander to anyone that does my job, but a normal job, as they say. I think she wants to be a nurse or a vet, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really know. She changes her mind all the time, so it's hard to keep up.
It's crazy because there's so many careers out there now. You can scroll over TikTok and you'll be there's these new roles and different things that you don't even know about that you can do. So
well, it's I've always said if my YouTube and everything failed, I'm what the hell would I actually do? Because I'm I didn't go to uni or anything like that. And I always originally said I would do beauty and something down that realm. But then I was speaking to my boyfriend, he was you could so go into social media but be a social media manager or social media marketing manager.
Yeah,
and, you could do all that because he said at the end of the day you've got 8 years experience doing social media. So he was so someone would hire you to do all the
100%.
stuff if you just didn't want to do it for yourself anymore. And I was oh my god, I never thought about it like that because social media is a big thing now, whereas I think when I first started it wasn't, it was unknown for a lot of people to do social media. I mean, I got picked on at school, so I took the brunt of it, but
when you were doing it at the start, were you doing it more so? I guess you weren't doing it as a career. I guess you were just doing it literally for fun.
It was just for fun, yeah. I just saw other people posting videos.
Especially when
and
you were kids and stuff. Just probably trying to copy other
Yeah, literally, I just saw people
famous
doing it and just posting videos. And my first ever channel that I actually ever did was way before my YouTube channel that I have now, and I actually used to upload singing videos.
Oh my god, we'll have to dig those out.
No, you can't find them because I deleted them when I went to school, and I'm so annoyed that I deleted them because obviously at the time I didn't realise you could private videos. I just thought I need to delete them because I wish I could private them so you could see, because there was literally a video of me with a headset singing Cher Lloyd, I Want You Back.
And
then
so if you do that TikTok where it's like, you know, and it's like, you wish you knew me when I was younger, and then
Yeah,
you switch to
we
like
did
them
that
videos.
with our sister girls video.
Oh.
And then that actually drew back loads of people being like, oh my god, as if that's you.
them.
Like,
Is it Video Star? I used to
Oh my
always
God,
like
yeah.
Used to
Video Star.
love Video
Yeah, and
Star.
add like the effects on it and like
Yeah.
dance on it. I, like it's so weird because back then we were doing what TikTok was now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now
literally.
it's
So it's even before Musical.ly though, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
even more of like a social media platform because back then you do like these video stars and you'd have like Facebook to upload. Like genuinely,
Yeah.
you would have just
Yeah.
Facebook to
I used to make video stars for ages. I remember one time me and Sophie had actually come out on a night out in Leeds, but she wasn't 18 yet, so we couldn't go out. I think we must have been at an event or something, and then we couldn't go out after, so we just stayed in the hotel. We made a video star. It was so funny because we'd not used it in years, so it was like throwing it back to like
Is it
video
still
star.
a thing?
I
Like,
think
can you
it
still download
is.
the app?
Yeah,
I'm
it
actually
probably
gonna
is.
look at
Probably
that.
like
I think
so
it is
funny.
still a thing.
using
Yeah.
it that aren't allowed TikTokers and then
Yeah, true.
we've got like quite an interesting question. We were talking about it. We're trying to do like a question of the week. We kind of got a bit sidetracked. We're starting to talk about.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're in a relationship, so we're going to play Better Together today.
Love that game. Played it
but
many times.
Our general question of the week is: how does it work traveling with like your single friends when you're in a relationship? Because obviously we know you've recently been doing.
Yeah,
we did like the Australia trip and
yeah.
stuff. So how
You know,
was that?
I actually don't find it as bad as people think.
Yeah.
Like, I think people think it's a lot worse than it is, but then I guess it depends on your friends.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I think if your friends, every single one of them is the type to go and chat to boys, get with boys, flirt with boys like, all night
yeah.
long, I can imagine that would be really hard because you'd just sort of be there like...
Obviously you were with Safe and she's in a relationship
Yeah,
as
so
well,
there was actually 3 of us in a relationship.
Okay.
So it actually wasn't that
Yeah.
bad. And then obviously you'd meet other people, and like the 2 other girls like weren't that bothered about like
Yeah.
like trying to find someone. If someone came over and chatted and flirted, whatever,
Yeah.
sort of go along with it. But like no one was like going out of their way.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on your
It's
friends.
worse, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
because obviously the 2 of us, we travelled together a lot. I've been in a relationship like last year or so, but before that, I was single for a good few years. So when we were travelling together, it was just like both of us. Like,
Yeah.
It was like the
single girl
opposite.
era,
You
but-
were single and I was in a relationship,
Yeah.
and now it's like switched. And then there was like a brief period where we were both single, and I think it does change. It like for us, it kind of changed.
Yeah,
a
it did
bit.
change. Like we went to Mexico together, and just before Christmas, and obviously like everyone's there on like stag do's and stuff. I was
Yeah.
just down for a party.
It also
and,
depends where you go.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
depends. But I think that was the
definitely.
first
And the
big trip for
atmosphere.
me.
That's the
that,
thing, like Australia, it's not like
yeah.
obviously people are getting with people because obviously you're travelling, but the main purpose of people being there is they're travelling.
Yeah,
Whereas like
yeah.
you go to like Zante, Ayia Napa,
yeah.
places like that.
True, yeah,
That is
exactly.
where you get a lot more.
It's good
like,
to kind of test your loyalty.
flirting, but like so many holidays
Yeah.
with having a boyfriend, and it just
Yeah.
like it. No one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not bothered about anyone
Like,
else.
do you
know what I
find
mean? Like,
yourself
Exactly.
like?
don't get me wrong, like I'll speak and talk to like other lads and stuff like
yeah,
if
yeah,
my
yeah.
friends are, but like I won't go out of my way
Yeah,
to
exactly.
go and
Yeah.
talk to
Just
them.
a
It's
case
like
of like having to friend zone
yeah,
people
like we
and,
met a
keep
group
it
of lads
moving.
on a holiday a few years ago, and like a lot of my girls were single, so like they were all talking to. So obviously I was talking to them as well, but like we're still friends
Yeah,
with them
yeah,
boys,
yeah.
and like my boyfriend's
Exactly,
actually
yeah.
met them lads now
Yeah.
as well because they came to like our Halloween parties and things like that. And like it is weird because I do get comments sometimes being like, "Oh, like don't you have a boyfriend?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yes, I do,
Yeah.
but my boyfriend trusts me, and like
Yeah.
I'm not interested
I think
in these
it's
boys
the difference
either.
of like actually just being in a relationship. It's like
Yeah.
secure rather than like
Literally, yeah.
toxic relationships.
And it's like
but-
as well, like, because I know people don't let their partners go on holidays, so then they
Yeah.
can't go on holidays. If my partner wants to go on holiday, he can
Yeah,
go. Like,
yeah.
if he's gonna cheat on me, he's gonna cheat on me
Yeah.
regardless of whether
Yeah.
I tell him
It's
he can go or not.
crazy to me seeing them videos and girls are like, yeah, I would not let my partner go away
Yeah.
without
they're
me.
like
yeah, I would
crying
not-
because their boyfriend's
No,
in
and
Ibiza
they like cut
and
their
they like, can't
passports
sleep.
off
Yeah.
and they do like
No.
this crazy stuff. What's really funny is my ex, like last year, he was going away to America. He was going to do Camp America for 3 months, and literally like a week before he was meant to go, we had a dog together, and the dog like ripped up his passport.
No way.
I remember her calling me and I was like, Dorana, please tell me you are like telling the truth.
Yeah,
like,
no.
this
And
wasn't you.
everyone thought it was me.
Yeah, I
that
was
did
gonna
it.
say,
All
that
his
sounds so
friends-
dodgy.
All his friends were like, I'm sure it's her that did it. I'm sure it's her that did it.
Yeah.
I was like, I promise you, like, I would not have done that. I wanted him to go at that point. I was clocked out of the
Yeah.
relationship. I was like, please go to America. But no, like, the dog did it, but he was like adamant that I did it. I was
Yeah.
like, absolutely not.
Oh no.
It was
That is
funny.
like, it was like a classic, like, oh my God, so of course you don't want me to go blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah. But like the
yeah.
dog did actually, because it's the same excuse everyone would use, like,
It's-
oh, the dog chews
Yeah,
it.
it's
like,
such a great excuse, but no, it was, his passport was so fucked up. It was so like ripped and
Oh,
everything. He had
no.
to like go and get it sorted, but he ended up going. It was fine, but everyone's convinced that I did it. But I actually
just to
didn't.
clarify, guys, she did not.
Yeah, this is an
Yeah.
official statement. I didn't do it.
But, like, do you find, I don't know, do you find yourself like changing your travel stories, like based on who you're telling? Like, I know, like, I'll switch up our stories and
Like,
tell
just
my
in case.
yeah, tell my mom, and like my boyfriend gets like a way more tame version of
I don't
like.
think I do, you know.
It'll
I
just be
think-
like even what someone else is doing. I'll just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, like.
I don't know. I
Just
feel like
went to the
maybe I
beach
have like
today,
changed
like-
some stories slightly, but I don't know. I feel like I'm quite an honest person. I feel
yeah.
like I just, because unless I've done
You're, like,
something,
mostly
like I'm not the
vlogging
person like
everything as well
when I've
anyway,
done something
so-
wrong, because I've got nothing to
Yeah,
hide.
yeah.
Do you know what I
I feel like
mean?
it depends on your relationship, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
like you don't want to give them like the wrong impression. So if you're like, oh, like my friend, like they went and like had a one night stand this one night whilst I was like just
Yeah,
chilling in the hotel.
Oh
like,
no,
maybe
my
they'll be
boyfriend
like,
heard about it all.
What?
Yeah.
But
I would tell him everything. I'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
so and so
yeah,
was
yeah.
shagging last night.
Yeah,
but
that's
I guess,
literally
like,
me. Yeah.
like if you're so secure, like they're not gonna like
Yeah.
Yeah.
question, be like, well, why were you in the hotel? Like, surely
Exactly.
you were out there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I guess it just depends like to what.
No.
type
I
of
think it was the same
relationship
as like
you're
when
in.
we were away and people have like asked me like, "Are you still with your boyfriend?" And I'm like, yeah.
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 You can do both.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, honesty is the best policy.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I think I'd rather it come from me,
Mm.
and, like, even if it's not something that he's bothered about, then it not come from me, and then later on down the line, he'd be like,
Yeah.
why didn't you tell me this? Like, if you were
Yeah.
there, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I didn't tell you because I wasn't involved.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
true,
So I
yeah.
just
It's
sort of
irrelevant,
say,
yeah.
and if, like,
Makes
if he
sense.
asks, then I'll just like tell him anything. But then there are like nights where like it's a night out and we're like on holiday, and I'll FaceTime him. So it'll literally be on the night out
Yeah,
with
yeah.
me kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like I don't really hold back on my stories. I don't have that much of a wild like life
Yeah.
that it's like
Maybe it's just us drinking game owners and
No,
stuff.
I guess so, but it just depends like who you go with.
Yeah.
Because when we
Yeah,
went last time, we
100%.
went with both you and your friend were in a relationship,
Yeah,
and she was
yeah.
like FaceTiming him, and like you were like messaging your boyfriend.
Yeah,
It doesn't really change
get on with
anything.
it.
It's just
well, we've been together nearly 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like he
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Like he knows I go on party holidays, he knows I do this. And I'm like, and if he ever needs like anything backing him up, he can watch my vlog. Like he knows
Yeah.
exactly
That's
where I am,
true.
where I
Yeah.
was at this
True,
moment, or
vlog
everybody
everything.
else's vlog.
Do you ever feel guilty when you're like out with him, like, or you're going somewhere on a date or on holiday, and obviously, do you ever feel a need that you need to like create content from everything? So I always feel guilty in general that I'm like, if I do something cool with my day, even like
Yeah.
when we're recording this, I'm like, oh, I could have done like a day in the life, I could have done this, I could have done
yeah.
that, or like
Yeah.
when I go away with my boyfriend, I think, oh, like I could make content here. Do you ever feel like guilty when it's like you and him time and you're like,
yeah, so like
thinking
obviously we've done like couples holidays, like
Yeah.
obviously for like our anniversaries and stuff, and obviously I've filmed it.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to like
Yeah.
enjoy the moment, but then other times I'm like, people want to know what I'm up to.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I need to film. So like I do it kind of like 50-50. I don't do it all the time, but then sometimes I will. So like for my birthday, obviously filmed because it was like my birthday. But then like when it was his birthday, we went away for the weekend.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of filming, but like it wasn't like constant. Whereas like
Yeah.
if it had been my birthday, I'd have been filming like every second.
Yeah.
So like I kind of like do a bit of both.
I think like just content
Yeah,
creation in
'cause
general,
he's
you
not-
just feel guilty when you're
yeah,
not like
he's not
recording
into it
something.
either.
Who was your like first inspiration to start like creating content? Like maybe if it wasn't from Facebook, like who did you see like on YouTube?
So my inspiration, I've spoken about this so many times. You know Anastasia Kingsnorth?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously me and Anna are like best friends
Yeah.
now. But she was my inspiration.
Do you know what's
to start.
crazy? We just had Charlie from Dolly's Desserts on,
Oh,
and
really?
she said the same.
Yeah.
She was like,
So I'd seen
wild.
Anna doing it, and obviously Anna's a year below me in like school years. She's the same age as me. And I'd seen her doing it, and I was like, if she can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there was 3 of them. Anna was the main one, then Keisha Rose, and then a girl called Lily Bolt. But Lily doesn't really do it anymore. Keisha still does. And then it was weird because I'd started my YouTube, and then a year later I got signed by the same management as Anna. So then when I was signed to the management, obviously I was introduced to Anna, and then from then we've just been friends. So I've known Anna since I was 15 now, and like you know, I lived in Manchester, so we lived really close to each other. We're just in Australia together. Like she came to all my birthday. Like, do you know what I mean? Like me and Anna are so close now, and it's so
we were
weird.
just saying about that actually in the other episode, is that like it's so weird when you just kind of realise these people are like the same.
Literally, like
doing the same thing.
It is honestly so. Like I never thought that I would like even meet Anna, let alone now be like her best friend. Because at the time, like obviously I loved watching the videos. I was like, oh my god, like if she can do it, I can do it, kind of thing. And yeah, like now, you know, like she's seen me naked. So like,
classic girl thing.
She's seen me naked. I've seen her naked. Like,
you know.
Australia was. Yeah, everyone was naked all the time. It was just so hot. And then, like, in a lot of the hostels, you obviously don't have aircon. Yeah. So it's just like, sorry, girls, I'm stripping. I'm sleeping naked again tonight.
It's funny, isn't it, when you're just, like, walking down the corridor and there's just, like, just people, like, half dressed in a towel and whatever. And you're just like, hello, good morning. Like, keep it moving.
I feel like you just recently saw me naked for the first time. And we've been friends for, like, 3 years. It was in Bratislava in the toilets. You were like, oh, I finally saw you naked. Because I was being, like, drunk.
I feel like it is one of them things. It's like, once you pass that point, it's like, that's it. You're like best friends. Like, I think all of my best friends have seen me naked. Like, I don't think there's one that hasn't. I feel like it's just normal.
If you have
I feel like when I was
younger,
no, but do you know what? Boys are the same. Like boys are actually the same.
Boys are worse, I'd say.
I know. I've said to my boyfriend before, I'm like, do you all compare dick sizes?
Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
It's
so weird.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just yet to admit it. They do.
Yeah, they definitely do.
It's crazy.
And if they don't do it in person, they've definitely told each other how
they just like
big
go
it
to the
is.
toilet together and they're just
Well, that's the thing. This is one thing I always wonder. Like when men go to the toilets, obviously there's a urinal. How do you not look at the next? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would just like. How do you just stare at the like? I don't know. Like I feel like I'd feel so awkward. Like where do I look? Do I just stare at the wall?
Yeah,
because I feel like if I was just staring at the wall, I wouldn't know what I was doing with my own junk.
Or like, you know, I know they say about like when
weird,
someone likes when someone's like talking to them while they're weeing, and I know they find that weird.
It must be a really weird thing when you first do it. Like
it was like I went to Berlin recently, and like their urinals, so it was like a club, so like the club's like open, and like obviously they're all like sexually open, and like everyone's like inviting, but the men's urinals were literally like on the dance floor. The men would just like pull their pants down and just go there. You'd have to look at them, and like because I was only out with like a group of guys. They were like, oh, I guess we're just gonna go here. I was like, I guess so. Just turn around and carry on dancing. But urinals in the clubs.
Urinals are like all different shapes and sizes as well. Like some have like side blocks, others don't. So I'm just like, where do you look? Like I would find that so awkward.
Yeah, so you can
do that. What if you were a bit ashamed? Like,
no, that's
like
the thing,
do you go in the toilet, but then everyone's gonna think you're going for poo?
Well, I guess that's why boys like don't go to the toilet with their friends because like, it's a bit weird. Like me going there, whereas like girls like
because boys are always like, why do girls go to the toilet together? And it's just what you just do.
Yeah. Because they'll look at each other and they're like, yeah, we don't want to do that.
We're sidetracked.
Yeah.
What is your creative and editing process like? I know obviously you do you have your own channels, and then obviously you've got like shared stuff that you do. So kind of how do you split that? Or
for my own, obviously I film and edit everything myself, which is great. Cause if I ever look ugly in anything, I can crop it out. Worried about this because this is my bad side, guys. So don't judge. But like when it comes to like mine and Sophie's shared TikTok, we'll kind of do it like half and half. So like obviously if we film on TikTok, we can just post. Yeah. But if we're like doing like a sponsored ad or whatever, we kind of like take it in turns, but it's not like a split schedule in the sense of like you do it this time, I do it the next time, you do it this time. It just kind of depends on like who's got the most work on. If someone's got other things that they need to prioritise, the other person will do it. So like recently I've done like 2 of them, but then Sophie before has probably done like 2 of them. So it kind of depends how it like pans out. And then obviously the planning process, we both kind of sit down and plan it, or again if one of us is busy, one of us will try and take control, and then we'll just like discuss different things like, between.
One of you posts something and then the other's like, oh my god, take that down, because that's what we'll do. We'll like post something and I'll be like, oh my god, like even with these pictures for the podcast, she was like doing it with a really ugly picture of me, and I was like what is wrong with you? Like, why are you using that?
No, well, it's like Sophie always puts together like compilations of me being a weirdo and posts them on TikTok, and sometimes I'm like, did you really have to use that video? But then I see it blow up and I'm like, nah, all right, don't matter. Like,
if it does
I'll
well,
be like, if you go on
fine.
our joint TikTok, I am the weird one. Like, my boyfriend always says to me, like, why do you always get thrown under the bus? He was like, you are coming across as the weird one. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, maybe I'm just the funniest. Like, maybe that is just it. Like,
just a bit more shameless.
But yeah, there's so many weird videos of me on there. So if you're ever up for a laugh, just go down on TikTok and watch videos of me.
I feel like after a certain point, like, you just don't really give a shit. Like, sometimes I used to be like so like overcritical, like what I used to like and stuff. But then like after a certain point, I'm like, fuck it, post
I
whatever.
think when
like,
it
tag me
comes
in
to
whatever.
like my own content for just like YouTube, I'm really overcritical, and I will like if I look ugly or whatever, I'll crop it out. But then if I'm in the background of somebody else's messing around, it doesn't bother me. Like, and I always say I'm more interested in other people's videos because I feel like you can see my personality more. Whereas when I'm filming, I'm like really static to the camera. I'm holding the camera. I'm having to think about what I want to say. So I feel like my personality doesn't come across as much. So I do find myself more interested in other people's videos.
I feel like we're probably the same. We're obviously quite nervous, like recording these podcast episodes, and it's like the first one when we recorded last time, I was like, oh my god, like what if we seem like really fake or like we're being really weird, but you just settle into it, don't you? I mean, you've been doing it for years now.
I know. I mean, everyone's always going to have an opinion of you, so you just kind of got to take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, I got it all through school, so I just kind of used to it. My voice is a main comment that I get a lot of like comments on. So sorry guys if it's annoying.
I said before this, she was like, I love her voice. She was like,
Really?
she's got such a nice
I was
voice.
like, oh, she's got such a nice voice. Like, it's gonna sound so nice.
Oh
It's
my
got like a
God.
bit more like raspy, I guess. I suppose it's such a good.
Everyone's always like, have you got sore throat? And I'm like, no.
No, it's like if I have like a sore throat,
If I have a
way
sore
prefer
throat-
like how I sound.
Oh no, if I have a sore throat, I'm like, oh guys. Oh, it's awful. I actually sound like a man. Like, it is horrendous. Like, I actually filmed like a birthday glow up, and for the first part of it I had no voice. I've just scrapped the video because I said I cannot be arsed with people commenting about my voice, because they already do it now, and I'm just like, I can't change my
Do you
voice.
get like negative comments? Like,
Yeah,
what kind of
apparently
comments do you
I sound
get?
like I smoke 20 a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sound. I've just had it all, and I'm just like, it's my voice. Like, I can't change.
Just like in
Constant-
general, like do you
constant
get
soft
like
throat.
negative comments if you like post anything or like?
Do you know, I did more when I was first doing it, and like the whole Facebook thing, because Facebook obviously was like around for everyone. Like, so I had like loads of comments. I had people telling me to kill myself.
Really?
I don't know if I can say that on the podcast. Maybe,
Yeah, maybe not on YouTube, but.
And then I also had people saying like they wish my mum would die. Things I don't know if this
Wow.
really is that appropriate for YouTube. Maybe we can bleep some of them words, but people will be able to figure out. But yeah, I think Facebook was the worst. Like,
That's
Facebook made me
crazy.
really, really like upset, and I remember my mum having to go into school
intense.
and stuff like
When
about
you're like
it.
that young.
Yeah,
as well.
so it wasn't very nice, but like that has made me a lot more thicker skin now, and like I don't really feel like I get it as much, but like I'll get comments on like my relationship and just like comments about what I'm doing, and again, like if I'm on holiday, I'll get people commenting like, don't you supposed to have a boyfriend? I'm like, yeah. Doesn't mean I can't have male friends. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So it's just it's like nitpicky stuff. Like, they're just picking at it just because, and you just kind of got to take it with a pinch of salt.
I think it's
like,
more so at the time of like, like Ask FM and like
yeah.
Tumblr and stuff,
Oh
where
my
the
God,
internet
yeah.
was
I remember
dark.
making,
so
like,
people
a
used to just be ruthless.
hate comment video on my Facebook. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I don't know why I did this, but people like on my Ask FM like saying like nasty things. So I'd like make like a hate reaction video. No, why I did that, I don't know. I'm not surprised that people were commenting things on my Ask FM, because Ask FM was
It
brilliant.
was the internet was like, people say now that TikTok's like a scary place for like kids, but honestly like Tumblr
I think
and
it was
Ask
worse
FM
before.
was mad.
Yeah. There's been like, I feel
It
like
was dark.
there's been like more like precautions and stuff made of like TikTok and stuff that you can do that can kind of like filter it out. But back then, no one would have known. Like I remember on Facebook, like people could really do whatever, and you wouldn't even have anyone to like turn to or like know what to do.
This is the thing. Like I'm very lucky in the sense that I don't get a lot, whereas like some of my friends really get like a lot. So I mean, back in the day. But that was just Facebook weirdos.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. Like, I know they keep saying that they're going to make you, like, show your ID when you do an account. Why do they not do that? Like, surely if, like, you're past 16 and you've got an ID, like, use that to make an account.
I guess the argument is, like, you know, not everyone has a passport, 'cause not everyone can travel, and things like that. But I do think there should be some sort of way to make it a bit safer. Because, you know, there are people, you know, that do end their lives because of all this hate, and it's absolutely awful. And like I'm lucky that I've never obviously witnessed that firsthand of someone that I know, but you think of like these big celebrities like Caroline Flack for example, like, and it is just awful. Like, and then as soon as something like that does happen, they all are quick to like turn back on what they said.
It's crazy like how fast they are to filter the actual content that you can post rather than like what actually goes on like in the comments and stuff, like with us like posting just like cards and stuff.
We'll post like random things and it'll be like, oh, taken down for like nudity. Like,
and
what?
it's like, well, it's
like and then like other things that actually
but then
matter.
it's like OnlyFans stars.
Yeah, and there's like these actual people that are posting nudity. And
that's the thing, because me and Sophie have struggled with that recently, because we do a lot of content with Lounge. And obviously Lounge is an underwear brand, and obviously that gets flagged up for like nudity and things like that. But then I'm like, you literally can see porn stars doing things that you should not see on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, like,
on TikTok.
all for it, but also don't like, remove our content.
Yeah, like, I'm like, it is like ridiculous, because I think in that aspect it is good, because obviously you have got young kids on there. Like obviously TikTok's guidelines are actually 13 and over. You're not allowed an account, but obviously kids they make an account or they use the parents' account, whatever. And it's just, it is scary that obviously people can see these things, but you know, I'm all for people making money however they want to make it. I'm not against it, whatever. But then I'm like, when my TikTok gets taken down just for a little bra being on show, like,
I'm like,
got
taken down just for like showing a word on a card. It's ruthless.
What struggles have you found with working with like your sister and your best friend as well? Because I feel like it's such a unique situation that you're in. It's so good in some aspects, and then like some aspects it like gets tricky. Like it's kind of the same with us. Like we're like we're literally legally tied. And it's hard. Like, what are like the struggles that you found?
So the only struggles really are like if, you know, we're not in the same place at the same time, and like for example, like, I'm going traveling at the end of the year, so like all our joint content, we won't be able to do it because we're not going to be together. So it's like that kind of thing. And then, you know, like the little arguments here and there, like, I can't bother editing this one, you edit this one, or like I don't want to think of this idea, you think of it. So like little things like that. Or like, I don't know, just like if we just disagree on like the smallest of things, but like we've always got along really well, so like it's not actually that bad. Working with each other, I think some people think it's harder than it is. But other than that,
Is there ever any like a little bit of resentment when one of you gets like a brand deal that the other's not involved with?
So we have this question like a lot being like, are you jealous of each other? And I wouldn't say that we are jealous of each other. Like I'm happy for Sophie when she gets some like really good deals. But obviously don't get me wrong, if she gets a really good deal, I'm like, wish that with me.
It's like friendly competition,
but it's not like resentment towards it. It's not like, oh, I should have got that, not you. Like blah blah blah. But like it's just like being more like proud for each other and like oh go on,
like friendly competition when like
and like helping each other out, because obviously I started first, so like Sophie had no idea how to do everything, so like I sort of helped her in an aspect, but then like Sophie knows more about editing than me now, because she enjoys editing whereas I don't enjoy it as much, so like she's got a lot better
having
than
the balance,
than me.
isn't it, really?
So they're the only things really.
We can move on to having a drink, I guess.
I feel like we really got into that one. That was good though.
It's a good
the Facebook thing's interesting.
Facebook is a weird one.
Yeah, we've got some pre-mixed cocktails. We've got a few different flavours. We've got strawberry dark, mixed berry mojito, passion fruit martini, Hawaiian daiquiri. So we're just going to be sipping on those while we answer some of the questions from Better Together. Obviously, it's the three of us here. We've got no boyfriends in the studio.
Me and my boyfriend have played this game numerous times. I think it's kind of got to the point now where we're like, we know each other's answers. So we're like, we need to wait a little bit until our answers have changed.
Well, really, we're doing a bit of a relaunch of it because we like sold out of this over Valentine's. It was crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
We
it's like
crazy,
in my Santorini vlog, we played it. Like I always take one of the Let's Drink to That games with us wherever we go.
It's so cute.
It's our bestseller, I'd say.
100%.
Yeah, they're all good.
So should we get into it? The first question. So these are from some of these are from this deck, and then some of these are from the new relaunch deck. So
some
new questions.
brand new cards that
I'm gonna drink water, guys, just because I'm driving.
Right.
Sensible.
So, what mistake did you make early on in your relationship? If you did make a mistake.
I don't think I did. Is that bad? I mean, I met my boyfriend in lockdown.
In general, like introduce family too quickly, or
I met my boyfriend at a house party just before the first lockdown.
Yeah,
and then obviously we went into lockdown. So it was 4 months of like us just speaking before we could actually meet each other. Because it was when the rule of you could meet people outside came into play. We met up and we went on a walk, and then that was it. So then,
walks were...
Did you have like your first date like months in? I guess.
Yes, it was like 4 or 5 months in. I'm trying to think, because when did the rule come in? Was it July that it came in, or was it June?
I'm pretty sure it was like
you could
summer.
Go out again.
Yeah, it was like June or July,
summer.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So like it was March. So March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, so like 5 months.
That's crazy.
And he'd come to my hometown, and then we'd gone for a walk like along the seafront, and that was our first date.
So I guess you can't really make a mistake early on when it's
myself. Like I was absolutely
control.
proud of myself, because I was like, I've been speaking to this boy for like 5 months.
Yeah.
Well, technically 4, because it was the end of March that we met. And I was like, I've been speaking to him for this like 4 months. Like, I really like him. Like, it seems like it's all going well. But I'm like, but what if, like, when I see him again, like, I don't fancy him?
Yeah.
I was like, I only remember what my beer goggles saw.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what if I actually don't fancy him? But it was obviously fine. Like, we're nearly 3 years together now. But yes, and then it was like we could only see each other on like walks for ages, and then like it eventually, like the lockdown and everything got lifted, and then that's when like we'd see each other a little bit more, and then that's when
the first like actual date
night. So it wasn't until August, like the end
of
of August, that we got together.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I don't think anything really.
So cliche, but everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And during that time, it's so weird because like when COVID started, I was like 17. Like I was still like young.
Crazy
and then now I'm literally turning 21, and I'm like dating people, and dating's so weird now. Like before it was like
in your 20s is
different. Yeah, like
that's the thing. I could not imagine now being
it's
single
a hellhole.
and then the talking stage.
No,
I'd get the ick instantly. I feel like if I went on a date now, like
it was
me and
so
my
weird
boyfriend broke up and
when
I
me
went
and
on a
my
date, I'd get the
obviously
ick so
boyfriend,
bad.
he weren't my boyfriend at the time, were speaking. I remember saying to my friends like, I've got a really good feeling about this boy. Like I didn't know what it was, but I just have a feeling like it just was always going so well. Like we were speaking every single day.
Yeah.
Like, and there was just no like. There was never a point where the conversation just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like there was always something to talk about, always something new to catch each other up on. And this was one weird thing that we never FaceTimed.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, because when people say to me like, how do you not know what he looked like? Did you not FaceTime each other? And no, because it was lockdown. Yeah. So he had like hair growing out to the max. Like he was like, I do not want you to see me looking like this. Like his hair was just atrocious.
It's strange.
So
oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, so I've got what's your usual type is one of the cards. So I guess like is your boyfriend like what you would do? Like if you kind of like your type in your head on paper, is he like what you would?
Yeah, I would say so, because I would say my type is tall, dark and handsome. Yeah. Classic, everyone says it. But then like when you think back to like previous exes of mine and stuff, like they're all different.
Yeah,
so like I feel like I really didn't
say,
actually have a type, but like if I was to choose, it would be tall, dark and handsome, and that is what my boyfriend is.
I feel like I'm literally the opposite. I always say my type.
It's such a specific type.
No, it's blonde rugby players that like hate the family. It's so no, but all my exes they aren't like they aren't that. They're like tall, dark, and handsome.
I feel like everyone's type is like their ideal dream man.
Yeah,
whereas like
exactly.
when you actually have a
head.
type, like
exactly,
you learn what your actual type is after all your relationships.
Yeah,
and because as well, like people's ideal type sometimes just will never work with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like your actual dream type, you actually get to know them.
Because like realistically, like the actual qualities that you look for is like, you know, someone who's loving and caring and a family boy, or you know, not in your case. But like that's the actual like attributes that you look for.
It's the values.
But obviously initially you go off looks. You're like, totally not gonna answer yes please. But
Okay, so what is one item of your partner's wardrobe that you don't like?
This isn't one of these cards. I know, because we've said this one many times. He actually doesn't own it anymore because he got rid of it from me saying it.
That's so
no, don't. Our game causing arguments.
I can't even remember what it was now. It was something trap star.
All right,
and I was just like,
that's valid.
It is not the vibe. But yeah, I don't think he has it. I think it might have been like a trap star t-shirt or something, and it was just.
It's not like a trap star puffer coat or like.
Yeah, well, he does have one of them now, but it's not like not in your face like traps. Like it's you can't really tell. It's like that. I don't mind. It's not my favorite when he puts it on, but I'm like I can deal with that. But whereas the other one was like in your face, like trap star, like, and I was just. Like it's not that, but I feel like that's not his vibe anymore either. Like when he was wearing that, he was like 17, 18.
That's I think sometimes honesty is the best policy. Like if you actually really don't like something of your partner's wardrobe, like tell them. Like I'm like brutally honest sometimes, and I'm just like, don't go on.
My boyfriend would tell me.
I feel like I'm just more like, oh, I think you should wear this tonight. Like you look really good when you wear this. You should wear that.
You were saying like I feel like it's an unspoken rule with boys that you have to wear Calvin Klein boxers.
Oh yeah,
it is. If you like a girl, if you're on a date, or if you know that you're gonna like sleep with them, because I am not joking. I will hands down say I've never slept with a boy and they've not been wearing Calvin Klein boxers.
Yeah. No, it is always Calvin.
I'm pretty sure it's an unspoken rule.
It's like an ick when a boy's wearing like boxes from
because you know that they have like
if they're wearing boxes from like Next or something, you know their mum's bought them for them. Like that's an unspoken ick. 100%. It's like you need new boxes, here you go. They're wearing like Next boxes, then that's just like God.
Yeah, no, I feel like Calvin Klein is like the go-to.
But it's good.
Yeah,
it's not a bad one.
It's a win.
I'd rather that. It's funny like when you see like the Versace ones.
My boyfriend told me that boys really don't wear white boxes. It's like if you get like like a set of boxes, he's like I just never wear white boxes. And I thought about it and I was like, it's actually true. I don't think I have actually like been with a guy and they're wearing white boxes.
Yeah, I feel like it normally
it's always like black,
but then I feel like
black, grey, and navy.
I feel like I do see actually a lot of boys wear white. But I think maybe it's like
a risky colour.
Maybe they've got a good bumhole. Maybe all the others have got IBS.
Yeah, true.
So they're just like, no, white is a no-go.
That's crazy. I bet they actually do deep that though, like socks and boxers.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like the main two.
So weird.
I always used to have a thing about like having my socks on during sex. I always used to say like take them off.
Apparently, if you wear socks, it increases your chance of orgasm.
Yeah, I did see
that. Yeah. Always used to be a thing, and then like when I'd see like his socks, I'd be like, take them off. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, it's so weird. Then why are you like feeling naked? You've got socks on. Like your feet are just like comfy. Maybe it's like they've got like a foot thing, but
One of the questions is, would you rather only ever have morning or night sex? Well, we've spoken about this quite a couple of times, but
night.
If you could only have the one.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person.
No.
I'm really not. I'm trying to be a morning person. Actually, this is how much I'm trying to be a morning person. My boyfriend bought me an alarm clock on my birthday.
Oh my god.
But it's one of them ones where it's like a
It's a-
sunrise
it's such like a,
alarm clock. So it's not just an alarm clock. But I'm like, we're at that stage now where we're
we
buying
have to
each
have
other
that
practical
twinkle alarm.
gifts.
We were traveling together. She is the worst at like not turning her alarm off.
Oh, so
like,
it's the same.
I
oh my
always
god.
I have a thing. I always set it as the twinkle alarm. Do you know the rather than the like in your face one? Because I know I
always
won't wake
do
up
it
to a
too.
twinkle one. But
There's
that
been
one I'll
times
wake
when
up
we were
to.
like, well, even you in bloody Berlin a few
Oh
weeks
my
ago.
God, yeah.
Sometimes you just want a little bit of dim light in.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like I'm
Keep
not
it
opposed
sexy.
to in the morning,
Yeah.
but like I prefer
I'd rather night.
night.
So, would you rather have an open relationship or only have sex once a month?
I could not have an open relationship.
No, yeah.
No, I don't know how. Me and my boyfriend have discussed it before, and we're like, I just do not understand how. I would be too jealous.
Yeah.
It's the jealousy thing
yeah.
for me, and like I just, the thought of someone. No, thank you.
It's so normalised though, and like some people can do it, but I'm just like, I just couldn't.
No.
Like,
I've met people
the thought of
traveling
me
and
being
they're
with
like
someone else
away for a
makes my skin
while,
crawl.
and they've been to me. They're like, oh yeah, like my boyfriend's giving me like a hall pass, and I'm like, fuck, like that's so
No.
weird
Yeah.
to me. Like,
No, unless
I mean,
it's
fair
Michael B.
play,
Jordan.
honestly, if you want it. Well, I mean,
But
yeah.
no, but even still, like I don't. Oh, it would just. I feel like because I'm so comfortable with my boyfriend, just having that awkward first
Yeah,
time
oh
yeah,
sex.
my god.
No, thank you.
yeah.
I just could never. And like that's the thing. Like I'd just be so jealous. Like if I knew my boyfriend was getting it from other people,
Literally.
I'd be like, are they better than me? Like,
Yeah.
Like
You don't want that feeling like in your head, but like it's crazy to me how some people can do it. Like you must be like very secure because like
Yeah,
what the
fair
hell?
enough. If you can do it, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some like kind of quick fire questions. So say I know you're not drinking, but we'll just like quick answer, I guess. So we've got drink if you've ever eaten a bad meal your partner's cooked and pretended to like it. Like that's I'm not a spicy eater, so if someone makes me something
Well, I
that's
do
a
all
bit
the
too
cooking
spicy,
really.
then-
So yeah. I don't think I've really.
Oh, it's good
had a
for
bad
you.
meal.
Good cook.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I
His,
think
his
so.
mum's a good cook, so
that's
he
good.
takes off his
I
mum.
think like my ex like cooked bad things, but I was brutally honest. I'd be
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
disgusting.
This is
I'm not
awful.
eating this. So
No.
I'd never lie.
I mean, I've had a shit meal in the sense of like chicken nuggets and chips.
Yeah.
But that's not
but
bad.
it's not
meat.
like
It tastes
cooked.
nice.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh,
Yeah.
like you literally made these chicken.
Yeah.
like, it's not gonna offend them.
Yeah.
No. So
Okay.
I think I've been alright.
So drink if you think it's important to tell your partner if you've been hit on. So like if you're on a night out and someone's like flirting with you.
Oh, I don't know about this one because it's like I think going back to what we said at the beginning, it's like if you don't tell them and then they find out, they're gonna be like, "Why didn't you tell
Yeah.
me?" I think maybe if they were to ask me,
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah," but then sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes it's not relevant. Like, why would you want to make your boyfriend
Sometimes
feel
I
like...
just say it 'cause it's more time
Yeah.
it's a funny story where you've like rejected someone and it is quite a funny story.
Because I have
but-
told my boyfriend before
Yeah.
that I have been hit on, but then it's not like something where I'm like, oh, I've got to tell him like
Yeah,
straight away.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it'll probably just come up in
It's just a funny
conversation.
story. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this guy was talking to me last night.
So I don't know, I'm like 50-50 on that one.
Drink if you stalked your partner's ex on social media.
Oh yeah, I've
Oh
definitely done
yeah,
that.
I think everyone's done that.
Everyone's done it. If
girls
you
are
say you
just,
haven't done it, then
like,
you're lying.
detectives. It's just detective work. I feel like I could find
Definitely.
anyone's ex.
Do you
if
know what?
I wanted
I
to.
think boys are the same. Like I recently
Do
had
you
like a
think?
situationship, and he was like prying like about like who my ex was. I was like, why do you want to know?
I feel like if you're from the kind of same area, then it's
oh
like,
yeah,
way
true.
more
They kind of
easy,
want to know, but I was just a bit like, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny actually because my boyfriend's two best friends have like been dating recently, like with different girls, like they're both single.
Yeah.
And I said to my boyfriend, I was like, oh, what's their names? So he gave me the two first names. I found their Facebook. I found
Oh my
their I found their
gosh,
TikToks. I found their Instagrams,
Yeah.
and I was like, found them. And they were like, how the hell have you done that? I was like,
I know,
just
guys
girls
will
have
think
no
that
way.
we're just like psycho.
I was just curious. I was like, who are these girls?
So easy.
I was like,
for
these
us
could
to
be
do.
potential future besties. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
scope out
I hear that.
who
I
it
hear
is. And then
that.
I told them, and they were like, how did you do that? And I was like, just a girl of many talents, you see. I was like, it's not
God,
really
that's so
that hard when you think about it.
It's
You
such a girl thing, though. I feel like boys don't. I don't think they'd go to that length, but if they could, they probably would. But like girls are just like, you will find out.
I was just being nosy. Like, I don't do it very often. I was just curious because I obviously hadn't really heard anything about them. So I was just like, oh, just curious to see what they look like. And then I obviously got it right, of course did, of course. But then, they were all just like, I can't believe you managed to find them. I was like, well, you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. I was like, I'm obviously not going to do anything with it. But I was like, you know, if you ever need me to find any dirt on someone,
detective
I'm your girl.
You always like keep it in your head that, like, to be fair, I feel like you have like a little stalking session, and then after that, you're kind of done.
Yeah.
You're like, I know who it is.
True.
Like, I'm kind of over it. But then there's like, I don't know. There's been some of. Do you know when you just like, I don't know, maybe if you've got like cheated on or like something like that, or if like there's a really prominent ex, sometimes I'll always like go on a page and I'll just check in on how she's doing.
Well,
And I'll be like, oh my god, she just graduated.
Yeah.
Like,
What
it's
did
not
she write
hater,
a lot of my friends follow my ex-boyfriend still.
All right, okay.
And don't know
That's an
why they
interesting
follow him,
topic,
but
actually. I think
they'll
that's a good question.
send every now and again, like they'll send a picture of him in the chat, and I'm just like,
oh, that's the worst. I'm like, yeah.
When it's been like
see
years
that,
as well,
thank you.
or like, and they're like, some of my friends will be like, oh, I seen like this person.
Like they'll be like, oh my
on a
god,
night
look what he looks like, and I'm like,
didn't care.
I don't want to see.
I'm
Like, I
did he buy you a
blocked,
drink
like,
when you seen him? No,
Yeah.
like, honestly, don't really care.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't blocked. So I was like, I do not want to see. And then just occasionally I go, or he'll pop up on like other people's accounts that I follow because they're like friends with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Jump scare.
Yeah.
like you just don't expect to see it, and you're just like, oh, like you forget about them, and then you're, oh, great, they're on my
It's crazy
mind
how
now,
much like
just
you
'cause you've seen them.
detach though, like from them, and like you were once like in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
It's just like they're strangers, and then you like you get past a certain point, and you just don't care.
Literally,
like, you're just like whatever.
I think as well a big thing is like closure.
Yeah,
as soon as you get closure,
100%.
that's it. You can cut
you're
it
done.
off.
You're clocked out.
Yeah, because that's the thing with one of my previous relationships. I didn't get closure for a very long time, so I think it was harder for me to like move on in that aspect because I hadn't had the closure.
Yeah.
And then I eventually got the closure, and I was like, he means nothing to me now.
Yeah.
He's like, he's dead meat.
Yeah.
But you know, that was like years ago now. So
Yeah, sometimes you need that. Like I had like a 7-year-long situationship. I met this guy on a plane. We were sat on a plane next to each other when I was like 13, and we literally were on and off for like 6 or 7 years.
Oh my god.
And then like the final straw, like Yaz had like met all his friends, and like we like it was crazy. Like, we were just so like interlinked in life, and then we just had that like final closure, and it was just done. And I was like, fuck, like after 7 years, like that's all it took. So closure is so important.
You just wake up one day and you're like, all right.
Yeah, I think as well, depending on how you break up, like if you can hate that person, I think it makes it so much easier.
Better. Yeah,
but if you don't hate that person and you've like split because you've just decided to go separate ways, I think that can be really hard.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I think it's easy if you hate them a little bit.
100%.
Yeah, because you have a bit of resentment towards them.
Oh, amazing. So that was the end of the quick fire round. I feel like we've been like talking for ages.
I know.
That's the best. That's the best
I
part.
chat
It's
for
just
ages.
fun. It's so good, yeah. So
do you want to give your like social media
Yeah.
So my YouTube, Instagram and TikTok is just Jasmine Clough. 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 And then with an E on the end of the Jasmine as well, because people spell it differently. And then my Twitter is Jasmine_Clough. And that is pretty much it. I think that's all my social media. Dub Smash.
Dub Smash out.
Jokes, Dub Smash isn't around anymore.
So again, hopefully we've given you a bit of an insight into another one of our games as well. As we say, we did sell it out over Valentine's. But we've got our double date night game.
I still need to play that. Me and Toby haven't played it yet.
To play it.
Yeah, because it's just getting a time where we're all free and together. Yeah. But we do need to play that
you
one,
guys would be like ideal for that game, actually, definitely. But yeah, so if you want to try that one, or as I say, we're like in the midst of a kind of relaunch and rethinking Better Together, which we'll give more info on closer to the time. But yeah, if you want to check out what we have got in store on our website, it's www.letsdrinktothatgame.com. TikTok, let's drink to that game, let's drink to that. Instagram, let's drink to the game, and you can actually, make sure you follow our podcast on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube, All Cards on the Table Pod, and leave us a rating on Spotify. Actually, that would help. But
perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. But
Thanks for
thank
having me,
you
guys.
for coming.
Yeah.